Hi everybody, welcome to Deb's Way. I'm Deb. You're here today in my kitchen nook. And actually, what I'm going to be talking about is a little bit of sewing things that I've been doing over the past week or so, keeping me busy in different classes and at home too. So come on in and stay a little bit with me, okay? But first off, let me tell you, yes. I told you before that I was going to be working on a McCall's pattern number 2476, and I'm actually working on the t-shirt nighties. I did finish it. Well, okay, I didn't really totally finish it, but I had an easy time of it putting it together, okay? The neckline is very nice. The sleeves, great. All I have to do is hem it, both on the bottom and the sleeves, and I have a new nightie. So I'll be finishing that up this week, okay? And I also want to get some more like single knit type material to make another nightie, maybe even two, I don't know. But that, it has been in the works for a while. Now, in between working on that, I've been attending classes at the sewing studio, you know, my favorite fabric store. And it was a series, it was called a kitchen series. And several different day classes were offered where you made different things for the kitchen, of course. So, okay, one of the classes that I attended made just simple placemats, you know, table placemats and napkins. So I made a couple of them, got those finished in class. Another class, okay, well I did have a failure in the kitchen series class, but I'll address that one last of all. One of the classes dealt with making a mat to put under your sewing machine that had pockets in it. Well, this is the mat that I'm going to put my machine on, and I have a couple of pockets here. Actually, I've got three of them. Three good sized pockets that I can keep tape measure, you know, thread cutting scissors in it, that type of thing. Something real handy, real close to my machine as I'm sewing so that I have it real handy to use. But I thought that was pretty neat. Oh, and it's reversible. Well, I mean, it has, you know, this on the back. But I love this green fabric here. I just love it. I wish I would have got more of it, but I didn't. So that was one thing we made in a class. And then we also made a mixer cover, okay? And it fits the kitchen-made artesian mixer, which is what I have. So that is what I've made. Now the pattern that the teacher had for us to use had pockets on the side all the way around the front to the other side. I really didn't care to have pockets on mine because my mixer is on the counter, and I really didn't want to have a bunch of stuff sticking out of the, you know, the cover to it. So my cover is plain. It has no pockets, but you know what? It works just fine for me. So I got that taken care of. And then I will tell you about the failure in the sewing class. Yep, it was a failure. Maybe not a total failure, but enough that, well, I'm thinking I'm not going to really fix what I've made and make it better, more usable. Now I'm just going to let it go. First thing we made was this little heart, which is, well, you know, you put your fingers in the center there. It's like a glove mitt type of thing. Okay, hot. Well, you can use it as a hot pad, or use it as a pan holder. You know, whichever, lid holder. I typically don't use something like this. I use a regular old-fashioned pot holder. Well, this didn't turn out too bad, but down in the very corner there, I don't think you can really see it good, but the fabric is kind of coming apart there. I can stitch it together. It could be usable. If I really feel like it, I may put a few stitches in there to hold that together, and then maybe just donate that because I'm over it. Because I'm really over this whole hot pad and oven mitt idea because of this oven mitt. This was a failure. Okay, well, it doesn't look too bad, does it, from this angle? It looks like it's done. You can put your hand in it. Yeah, it's an oven mitt. It's got insulation in there. It's got batting in there. I mean, it's very easy. It would be safe to use. However, there are some areas here along the seam. Can you see that? Where the seam isn't really good. I'd have to stitch that closed. The thumb is really little. I can't help that. And there are other places along the seam where not all of the fabric was gathered in on the seam line. So I'd have to stitch that together. Plus, I never paid any attention whatsoever to where the seams match up. And I know better than that, you know, I mean, give me a break. I do know better than that. Can you see? They just kind of go this way. I should have known that. I should have known better. But anyway, I finished this for the most part. I quilted it. There's some blue stitching going through. I just did lines. Some other gals did put lines going the opposite direction, which made it like diamond shaped, quilted on their oven mitts, but I didn't care at that point. And I didn't finish the cuff. And I don't think I'm going to either. No, there's just too much tweaking to be done on this. So that was a failure, and I consider this to be kind of a failure too. But it's not that I didn't enjoy the class. I did. There were 4 other ladies in the class with me, and actually all of us really had trouble working on this, following the directions. I mean, the instructor really had to help us out with each step. One of the ladies that took this oven mitt and potholder class with me was also in my mixer cover class later on. It was actually a few days later. And she said that, well, you know, her original oven mitt did not turn out. She actually tried to make a new one, and it still didn't turn out for her. So it wasn't just me. Nobody in that class that day had an oven mitt that turned out good. Now the heart was another matter. Yeah, that one turned out pretty good for everybody. But the oven mitt was a challenge. I don't know. But oh well. I haven't really done much with them except set them aside. I probably will try stitching them up to make them usable by somebody. I don't know if I'm going to keep them myself or not, but anyway, that's what I've been doing as far as sewing goes lately. Now, on the other hand, I did mention that I was, well, looking into a new church, and they had groups at church that did the knitting of hats for cancer patients, and also they do a quilt group. And I need to get more active in the quilt group because I think I would really, really enjoy that. I've enjoyed the knitting group. That's been no problem. Now let me show you. What we do work on, though, is a loom like this, which you see at I think, Walmart, Michael's, places like that. Hobby Lobby has them, too. And you just loop the thread around the rings here and then go through and lift each yarn up over the yarn already on the little spool there. I know I didn't explain that very well, but that's what I do. This is what I'm working on right now. This is the brim, and I've made that a gray. Now you can't really tell, but the hat itself is kind of a grayish blue tint, and then it's got little specks of tan and gray and also black in the hat. So the gray does go together with that. And actually, I've got maybe another row or two to put on using the main color, and then I'm going to change off again to the gray color and do the top of the hat, and then I'll be done. I probably have made about 10 hats so far for the church, and I'm glad about that. I mean, I do this while I'm sitting watching TV just to keep my hands busy. I'm going to show you some other hats here that I just recently did this week. I've already turned in several, but I've got this one to turn in, and this one is a dark gray and a light gray. They're kind of like beanie hats, I guess. This is, I do like this color combination. It's like a variegated green and gold and cream colored, and then the green, kind of like an olive green in there. That's nice. And I like this one too. I mixed that with gold instead of the olive green, and it really brought out the gold colors in the variegated body. And then this was using up the yarn, which you got to do when it's a, you know, a donation type of thing. This is my variegated type of yarn with some gold strips, beige, or actually kind of a creamy gray, and that's it. So those are the hats that I finished for this week. And like I said, I've already turned in a couple batches of them. So I'm going to town on that. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. And actually, in this group, all the supplies are given to us to work with. Everything from the loom to the little tool you use to do your looming or knitting or whatever you want to call it. The yarn is also provided through the church, but you can go buy your own yarn too and do that if you want to. And I've done both. I have done both. So I will continue making the hats for a while. And then I'm going to get busy working in the quilting group for there. Matter of fact, they just shipped out a bunch of quilts recently, and they had almost 200 quilts that will go worldwide to any needy person, not just cancer patients in this case. It's their, I don't know what they call it really. It's not quilt relief, but anyway, it's donations to the needy. And I really want to participate in that. So, but that's what I've been working on lately for the past couple of weeks, keeping me busy, keeping me out of trouble, yeah. And going forward now, I have no more sewing classes for this month, and I don't have another one until mid-March, I believe it is, when the Basic Sewing 4 class starts again at Sewing Studio. And I'm taking that one, of course. And the teacher did tell us that ongoing now for the spring months, every month we're going to have a new session. So I'm going to continue with that and I do have fabric going for a top, some little t-shirt tops that I want to make. I want to make more clothing for this year. I really do. I haven't bought anything new for so long because I keep saying and telling myself that I'm going to make clothes to wear. So I got to get busy or I'm going to run out of clothes to wear. And that's the way it is. So everything's fine around here. Hope it is with you too. You take care now and have a great week of sewing if that's your thing. And if it's not, well, that's okay too. I'm glad you stopped in to watch and see what I've been up to. But you take care now. I'll be talking to you again in the near future. But until then, it's bye for this time.